Long ago, in a much forgotten era, existed a magical nation that once stood as one of the most powerful in the world. The denizens of the nation thrived on their prosperity and lived mostly peaceful lives. However, just beyond their borders lived the only threat to their livelihood: monsters. From twisted terrors to the foulest of horrors, the monsters would regularly attack the nation, terrorizing the people and destroying their homes. In response to the ongoing threat, the nation's highest power, the Order of the Holy Covenant, called upon the strongest in the land, and to their calling, the greatest warriors and mages stood together to protect the nation. During one of these excursions, the beasts approached the borderland of the nation, where the commoners resided. A boy, one of weak constitution, watched in the distance as the Covenant's warriors battled the monsters, using all their strength and willpower to fend off and slay the beasts. Inspired by the heroism of the brave warriors, the boy sought to one day follow in their footsteps and become a hero that could protect those around him. Unbeknownst to him, however, that lingering desire would awaken something much greater, something that would change the course of history forever. As the last of the monsters were being slain, one of their corpses flung against a nearby wall, causing it to collapse over an elderly man. The boy, in the heat of the moment, seized the opportunity to perform an act of heroism and dug the man out of the debris, only to find him gravely injured. Filled with a sense of failure, the boy felt weak and powerless, until he started to notice a faint light glowing from his hand. He placed his hand over the man and saw the fatal injuries heal up almost instantaneously. However, this power did come at a price. As the boy continued to heal the man, he felt the negative energy around him enter his own body, causing a searing pain that echoed in his chest. But seeing the man fully recovered caused him to endure the pain. The elderly gentleman, touched by the boy's act of kindness and mystic powers, bowed before him, proclaiming him to be the Messiah and that the long-forgotten prophecy of the nation had been fulfilled. The man took the boy to the monastery of the Holy Covenant, bringing him to the highest orders of the boy's eyes, lit with a sense of duty, saw this as an opportunity to be a hero, and thus started walking the path he was destined for. And so, 10 years passed by, and the boy accepted his role as the Messiah. Every year, the Covenant would organize the Radiant Advent Festival, a nationwide celebration to commemorate the ever-growing prosperity of the nation and the coming of their Savior. People from the farthest reaches of the land would come to him, asking for salvation from their worries and suffering. The boy would accept their blessings and absorb their negativity into his body, be it pain, malice, rage, grief, anguish, misery, or despair. The boy would accept it all. One encounter, however, left him questioning his actions. As he continued to heal those in need, he encountered one of the families he attended to years before. Now poor, but filled with a sense of hope, he questioned them on how they got into their current predicament. They spoke of their life after the encounter, and how grateful they were to the Order. They had surrendered all their earthly possessions to them, and felt no despair in their loss, as with their negativity sucked away, they were left as husks of their former selves, and devout worshippers of the Order. Startled and angered by the Order's thievery, something changed inside the boy, and he started to have doubts about his role as the Messiah. As the festival came to a close, he interrogated the Order's High Council and demanded they return the property and belongings of the common folk they were given. The High Council, however, had other plans. They denounced him and claimed he was nothing more than a figurehead for the citizens to believe in, using him to conduct their sinister rule and convert them to the Order. This only enraged the boy even further, but before he could do anything, he felt all the negative energy he absorbed take effect, causing him to collapse. Seeing this as a potential opportunity, the Order dragged him away and started work on a new scheme. In the blink of an eye, another 5 years passed. The boy was now confined to a hospital bed, stripped of all freedom. The Order had used his deteriorating body as an excuse to imprison and silence him, with his hospital bed as his cell. Unable to speak because of the damage done to his body, he was only allowed outside to perform his duties at the Radiant Advent Festival every year. As the years went by, the resentment he built up from absorbing years of negative energy grew. The Order, on the other hand, had attained the riches of the nation's treasury due to their control over his power. With his eternal confinement and his ailing body, the only thing keeping the boy sane was the light coming from his window. His life would continue as such until one fateful day. An unidentified creature had descended upon the center of the town. All life within its vicinity had drained away as it laid in a dormant state. Astonished by the arrival of such an abomination, the Order demanded their garrison to eliminate the threat. The creature, however, proved to be much more than they would have thought. Any attack they attempted would simply phase through its body, and the miasma-like gas around it would drain the life out of any warrior mage nearby. With no other option, the Order decided to bring the boy to it, and have him drain the negative energy it stored, hoping to rid the land of the vile life form. The boy, panicking and sensing the imminent danger he was in, started absorbing its energy. However, this proved to be the most pivotal decision of his life. The creature's body liquefied, melding into the boy's being as well. Pain surged throughout his body as the years of pent-up negative emotions echoed in his head. Pain, malice, rage, grief, fear, anguish, misery, despair. All of it overflowed into his body, breaking his mind in the process. The creature's body and his own merged together, causing the boy to undergo a monstrous transformation. His body grew to gigantic proportions, overshadowing even the tallest of structures in the nation. With his newfound power and unfathomable anger, he destroyed everything that stood before him, bringing the nation to complete ruin. Inside the boy's mind was a flurry of negative emotions. He started to question everything he had been working for. How could this happen? Why was he betrayed by the very people he wished to save? Why was he subjected to years of torment and abuse? After what felt like decades, maybe even centuries, the monstrous form he took started shrinking down back to its normal size, and collapsed in the crater, surrounded by the damage and destruction he had caused. As morning came, the break of daylight woke him up from his slumber. Still a bit disgruntled by waking, he saw a puddle of water on the ground and washed his face, only to be stunned by his reflection. His fusion with the invader had disfigured him, making him an unrecognizable horror. Amidst the debris and the rubble, a group of survivors, all injured and tired, saw the monstrosity standing before them and panicked. The boy approached them and healed their injuries out of guilt, but something went terribly wrong. From his body, fragments of his skin spread upon those he healed. The fragments spread across their skin and mutated them. They became violently aggressive and underwent a painful, hideous transformation. When they came to be, the transformed had gotten back the volition they lost and felt enlightenment for the first time in their lives. They worshipped the boy, renouncing the once beloved teachings of the Order of the Holy Covenant, and swearing allegiance to the fallen Messiah. With this revelation, the boy realized everything he had done up until now was wrong. It wasn't the Holy Covenant that saved him all those years ago, but the praises of those who called him a savior. It was then that he knew what had to be done. With the fall of the Holy Covenant and the destruction of the nation that abused his powers, the boy sought a new goal. He started transmogrifying more and more survivors, gaining a following as they transformed into monsters, much like those that once threatened the fallen nation. Under his command, his followers were ordered to save everyone in the universe from their suffering. Whether they be rich or poor, strong or weak, selfless or selfish. They made it clear they must be liberated from their earthly bodies and reach the enlightenment their savior had reached. That was the day a nation fell, and from its ashes, the vile covenant was born.